Before you scroll past this video, you need to hear this, because what happened in the last 24 hours could directly affect your bank account. Millions of Americans are watching this update right now, and some people are about to qualify for money they weren't even expecting. But here's the thing, most people are going to miss the details that matter the most. If you care about your finances, your benefits, or your family's money, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of this video, because I'm breaking down exactly who qualifies, how much is on the table, and what you need to do so you don't get left behind. And real quick, if this kind of update matters to you, make sure you subscribe to Senior Pension Guide. This channel is not here to hype things up or waste your time. Senior Pension Guide exists for people who are trying to stay informed, protect their money, and make sense of what the government doesn't always explain clearly. When something changes, when new payments are confirmed, or when deadlines matter, you hear it here first. Alright, so first things first. Let me explain why this particular update is getting so much attention right now. People all over the country have been waiting, watching, and wondering when more financial relief is going to come through. The cost of living has gone up. Groceries are expensive. Rent is through the roof in so many areas. Gas prices keep bouncing around. And millions of Americans are just trying to stay afloat. The government knows this. Lawmakers know this. That is why there has been so much movement behind the scenes over the past few weeks. And what we are seeing right now on March 6th is the result of a lot of that back and forth finally coming to a head. Now, let me be very clear about something before we go any further. Everything shared on Senior Pension Guide is based on accurate, verified information. No hype, no false hope. What we are walking through today is based on the most current reports, announcements, and confirmed updates that have come out as of this morning. So everything you are hearing right now is as up to date as it gets. Okay, let's keep going. The big news that everyone is talking about is the stimulus announcement that came through in the last 24 to 48 hours. There has been serious discussion and movement in Congress around a new round of direct payments. This is not just talk anymore. There are actual bill proposals on the table, and some of them have gained quite a bit of traction. The question that everybody wants answered is who qualifies, how much money are we talking about, and when is it actually going to hit people's bank accounts? Let's break all of that down in plain, simple English. Let's start with who is being targeted for these payments. Based on the most recent proposals and announcements, the focus is heavily on low to moderate income Americans. We are talking about people who earn under a certain income threshold. For individuals, the number being discussed is somewhere around $75,000 a year or less to get the full payment amount. For married couples filing jointly, that number goes up to around $150,000. And for head of household filers, the threshold is somewhere around $112,500. Now, these numbers could shift a little bit as the final details get ironed out, but based on what we are seeing right now, those are the ranges being discussed. If you are on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, Veterans Benefits, or Railroad Retirement Benefits, you are also expected to be included in this round of payments. That has been a big point of emphasis from advocates and lawmakers who have been pushing hard to make sure the most vulnerable Americans are not left out. If you have been worried about whether people on fixed incomes are going to be included, the answer right now is looking like yes, and that is genuinely encouraging news. Now let's talk dollar amounts. The figures being discussed range anywhere from $2,200 per eligible adult all the way up to $2,000 per person. Some proposals are pushing for amounts in the higher range, particularly for those in the lowest income brackets. There is also talk about additional money for dependents and children in the household, so families with kids could potentially see a significantly larger total payment. Here is something really important. There is also a separate conversation happening around what is being called a bonus payment or supplemental payment, specifically for seniors and people with disabilities. This would be on top of any general stimulus payment that goes out. The amounts being discussed for that supplemental payment range from $200 to $400 extra on top of the main stimulus check. So if you are a senior on Social Security or you have a disability, this could mean 2 separate deposits hitting your account around the same time. That is a meaningful amount of additional relief for people who need it most. Now let's move into the payment dates, because this is where things get really specific. Based on what has been confirmed as of March 6th, the payment timeline is being structured in waves, similar to how past stimulus payments were handled. The first wave of payments is expected to go out to people who have direct deposit information already on file with the IRS. If the bill moves through the final stages of approval quickly, direct deposit recipients could potentially start seeing payments within 2 to 3 weeks of final passage. The second wave of payments would go out to people who receive mailed checks or debit cards, which typically takes an additional 2 to 4 weeks after the first wave. So if you are relying on a paper check, you are looking at roughly 4 to 6 weeks from final passage before something arrives in your mailbox. For Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipients, there is expected to be a coordinated effort between the IRS and the Social Security Administration to get payments out quickly. The SSA already has direct deposit on file for millions of beneficiaries, which means that group could also land in that first fast wave. That is really good news for people depending on those programs. Now, do you need to do anything to receive the payment? In most cases, if you filed a tax return recently and have direct deposit set up with the IRS, the answer is no. The payment will come to you automatically. However, if you did not file a tax return recently because your income was too low to require filing, you may need to use a non-filer portal that the IRS typically sets up for situations like this. Keep an eye on irs.gov for updates on when that becomes available. Also, if you recently changed your bank account or mailing address, make sure your information is updated with the IRS as soon as possible to avoid any delays. It is also worth mentioning that current proposals include protections to prevent stimulus payments from being seized for back taxes or certain debts, similar to protections we saw in previous relief rounds. That is a relief for people who were worried about not getting to keep their money. On the state level, several states are moving forward with their own separate relief payments. States like California, Colorado, and New Mexico have been running their own programs to provide direct relief to residents. If you live in one of those states, you could potentially be looking at payments from both the federal government and your state. California residents in particular should check ftb.ca.gov for the latest on any state-level relief programs currently available. For regular Social Security payment dates in March, the schedule follows the standard birthday-based pattern. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, your payment arrives on the second Wednesday of the month. The 11th through the 20th gets paid on the third Wednesday, and the 21st through the 31st falls on the fourth Wednesday. If you have been receiving benefits since before May 1997, your payment comes on the third, regardless of your birthday. SSI payments come on the first of the month or the preceding business day when the first falls on a weekend or holiday. Also worth noting, the 2025 COLA increase of 2.5% already went into effect in January. If your monthly payment looked a little higher at the start of the year, that is the reason. That increase combined with a potential stimulus payment could represent real, meaningful relief for seniors and disabled Americans heading into spring. One final reminder, please be careful about scams. Every time stimulus news breaks, scammers come out looking to take advantage. The real IRS will never call you asking for your Social Security number, bank account information, or any upfront fee. They will never text you a link. If you get anything like that, it is a scam. Go directly to irs.gov for the most accurate and current information. Make sure you are subscribed to Senior Pension Guide so you do not miss a single update as this situation continues to develop. The moment new information is confirmed, you will hear it here. Thank you so much for watching and for your trust. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and stay informed.